making it a headline story. I can totally see it now. Breaking news, SpongeBob SquarePants shakes up Bikini Bottom politics. So, would you tune in if they actually ran that story?
We have some breaking news here. Occurring that SpongeBob SquarePants is officially into politics now. He is running as a Democrat and is running against Ronald Wilson Reagan.
Now, that is a headline I'd watch unfold. SpongeBob diving into politics and picking a side. Talk about a sea change. So, it
Votes are supposed to be coming in a couple of minutes, but as we can tell, SpongeBob has been doing a lot of things. Currently, now finally at the age to vote, at the age to run as president, being born in 1986.
Oh, definitely. So now we've got SpongeBob hitting his presidential eligibility milestone. This is history in the making. Now, are we expecting any surprise?
Very historical thing. The United Apartments current president, Michael Gill, is going to be giving a speech at any moment.
The intrigue thickens. A special address from President Michael Gill. This election's turning into a real undersea event. So while we wait for his speech, what do you think his take will be on a sponge running for office?
So the Oval Office is officially being, the Oval Office for the United Apartments is being currently set up right now for the speech.
Oh, absolutely a scene-setting moment. The Oval Office of the United Apartments is about to have its primetime debut.
So, this is official. Hi, my name is Michael Gill. Today I would like to address about the SpongeBob versus Ronald Reagan official showdown.
Well, hello, President Gill. I'm glad we've got you on the line to make
Ronald Reagan is a Republican. Everybody hates Republicans in this country. So, many people think that SpongeBob SquarePants is going to win. I hope so too. Right, well, looks like we've officially gotten President Michael Gill on the line, and now he is officially done with his speech. Now let's go back to the election.
Absolutely. Let's pivot right back to that election drama. It's like the political surf is up and we're all catching the wave now. So what's your prediction? Do you think SpongeBob's got this one in the bag, or is it going to be a tighter race?
So the first two states that are gonna vote is Alabama and Alaska. So Alabama's polls just finished and they voted for Ronald Reagan.
All right. So we've got Alabama tipping its hat to Reagan. Interesting start. Alaska's up next, so we'll see if SpongeBob can reel that one in. Do you think he can turn the tide there?
Alaska has voted for SpongeBob SquarePants.
Well, there you have it. Alaska is Team SpongeBob, making this race officially a nautical
So
nail.
how many votes in total is there? Like, how many votes does SpongeBob and Reagan have?
So right now, we've got ourselves a tie, one state each for SpongeBob and Reagan. It's like their dance cards are just getting filled in. We've only started counting, and there are plenty more dates to go. What date are you watching out for next?
I'm watching out for Utah, because I am afraid that Utah might actually vote for Reagan.
The suspense of the Utah ballot. It's like waiting for the plot twist in a reality show. All right, let's keep an eye on it together. Who knows? Maybe Utah will surprise us both.
And now we're gonna give our CNN projections. So we project that Arizona is gonna vote for Ronald Reagan, and Arkansas is also gonna vote for Ronald Reagan.
All right, so we've got a double dose of Reagan country on the horizon. Arizona and Arkansas joining the Reagan camp. definitely keeps things interesting. So, what's your take? Do you think these early results are
Let's get
setting the
the
tone?
real Arizona and Arkansas votes. Arizona has voted for Ronald Reagan, and Arkansas has voted for Ronald Reagan.
All right, the real deal is in. Arizona and Arkansas have both landed firmly in the Reagan column. So that definitely nudges the
Which means it is
tally.
now an official 1-3.
Yeah, the scoreboard's starting to take shape here. We've got SpongeBob with 1 and Reagan pulling ahead with 3. So now the question is, who's going to even the score
as you can
next?
see, this is actually going to be the final day that Michael Gill is in office. Because what if whoever wins, Michael Gill has to congratulate them, or else he will be arrested. It's a pretty weird law that was created, but he has to thank the person who wins, no matter if it's Ronald Reagan, SpongeBob SquarePants. He has to thank the person, congratulate them, and he also has to make sure that he basically took everything that he needs, that he took from his home to the Oval Office, back to his house, because if he forgets anything, then he will not be able to do it again. He will not be able to get those things back until the next president is done. He can run again because he served his 4 terms.
Wow, that is definitely quite the quirky legal twist. So it sounds like Michael Gill's got a very unique to-do list on his final day. He's got to tip his hat to the winner, whether that's Reagan, SpongeBob, or anyone else, and then haul all his stuff back home. So on that note, what are you curious about next?
And we're gonna be going on an ad break. Have you ever
All right,
wondered?
quick breather for a while from our imagination. What might happen
if your children is having enough digital learning? Well, you can download ABC School Zone, official for the ABC Anywhere Teacher app. Download it now. Let your kids learn. Want your kids to start to read? Well, get them books like The Big I Want a Pet, Beep Beep, Dreams, Raccoon the Moon. Anything that you really want to get for your child. Flashcards, alphabet, numbers, addition, memory, anything. School Zone Anywhere Teacher. You can also download the digital app. Workbooks like preschool, kindergarten, and others, each sold separately.
And there you have it, a little plug for all the parents out there. Get those kiddos learning with ABC School Zone. So while we're on this break, let me ask you, have you tried any fun apps like that?
Do you want a game that's able to play, that you can play anything that you want to? Download Roblox. It lets you play any single game and create any single game. Nothing is required. Just need your birth date and your username and a password and gender, but that's optional. Download Roblox
Absolutely.
for free.
And you're all set to jump into the world of Roblox for free. All right, so now that we've had our little commercial break, what's on your mind next?
Right, so we're officially out of our ad break, and the states that are going to be voting have officially come in finally, and we do no longer have to wait. California has voted for Ronald Reagan, which now he has 4 points, or 4 votes.
All right, the suspense is over. California's it and Reagan snagged those 4 points. So how do you think the rest of the map is going to shape up?
But though, as you can see, though, it looks like SpongeBob SquarePants, the Democrat, is actually going to be falling off and may not become president. The projected winner to win the presidency is currently Ronald Reagan in the lead of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Wow, quite the matchup we've got here. I think you don't see that every day. Reagan going head to head with SpongeBob. So let's think. If Reagan's in the lead, What's your prediction? Do you think that SpongeBob's got a surprise comeback in him, or is it all either for our favorite Sponge?
Colorado has officially voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, which gives SpongeBob so SpongeBob SquarePants Jr. has officially gotten 2 votes now. Ronald Reagan still with 4.
All right, so Colorado shows up for SpongeBob Jr. That's a couple of votes on the board, keeping things interesting. And Reagan's still out there with his 4. So any wild guesses where the next surprise might come from?
For the projected votes, we think that Connecticut is going to be able to vote for SpongeBob SquarePants, and the Delaware will vote for Ronald Reagan. If SpongeBob SquarePants does actually get both of the votes for both of these countries, he will be tied, or both of these states, he will be tied with Ronald Reagan.
Got it. So it's shaping up to be a pretty close one. If Connecticut leans SpongeBob and Delaware goes Reagan, we could have ourselves a tie. So what's your gut feeling? Are we headed for a dramatic tiebreaker?
So the Connecticut state has officially gone. Its polls are over, and Connecticut voted for SpongeBob SquarePants. So now SpongeBob SquarePants Jr. is officially
Well, there we go.
3.
Connecticut's weighed in.
So SpongeBob SquarePants is officially at 3 votes.
All right, so that puts SpongeBob on the board with 3 votes.
For Ronald Reagan, which means Ronald Reagan is now at 5 votes.
All right, Delaware's come through for Reagan, bumping him up to 5 votes. It's definitely a close race now. So where do you think we might see the next twist?
Very, very close. What do you think next? What do you think is the next state that's gonna vote?
Ooh, good question. Well, if we're following the usual pattern, I'd say maybe something like Pennsylvania or New York might be up next. What's your hunch?
So the official countries that have just been confirmed that the next to vote is Florida and Georgia.
All right, Florida and Georgia stepping into the spotlight. This should be fun. Any hunches on how those two might swing?
Florida has officially voted for Ronald Reagan, which bumps him up to 6 votes. And Georgia is still waiting for its vote.
Okay, so Florida gives Reagan a nice little boost up to 6 votes. Now it all hinges on Georgia. Are we thinking another surprise twist?
Let's see if Georgia might vote SpongeBob SquarePants. Most people in Georgia are actually voting for Reagan. So it's looking like Georgia's vote is going to go to Reagan.
All right, sounds like Georgia's leaning Reagan too. That could give them a pretty solid lead. So what do you think that SpongeBob's next?
Bumps him up to 6 votes, I'm pretty sure, right? No, 7 votes.
Yep, you've got it. So with Georgia leaning his way, Reagan Cali nudges.
Hawaii is voted for Ronald Reagan as well, which now bumps him up to 8 votes.
Wow, Hawaii jumping into the mix and giving Reagan another vote. Now he's up to 8. It's definitely looking like he's pulling ahead. So do you think any state might surprise?
Definitely looks like SpongeBob SquarePants Jr. actually might lose to Ronald Wilson Reagan. If Ronald does lose to SpongeBob somehow, somebody did bet that $20 million that Ronald Reagan will win, and somebody betted $70 million that SpongeBob will win.
Wow, those are some serious stakes. 20 million on Reagan and 70 million on SpongeBob. Now that's a wild bet. It'll be interesting to see if there's
somebody is definitely gonna lose money. Idaho has definitely voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, making SpongeBob SquarePants now have 4 votes, with Ronald Reagan at 8.
All right, so Idaho's showing some love for SpongeBob and bumping him up to 4 votes. That definitely makes things a bit more interesting now that Reagan's at 8. Do you think any other states are going to throw a surprise vote?
Illinois has officially voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, bumping him up to 5 votes with Reagan. I almost said Rogan. With Reagan at 8.
All right, so Illinois is now on Team SpongeBob, and that puts him at 5 votes. Reagan's still at 8, and yeah, gotta watch her slips, no joke. So it looks like Illinois just gave SpongeBob a nice boost.
The Hoosier State, Indiana, has voted for, drumroll please, SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob is now at 6 votes and seems to be catching up to Reagan.
Well, look at that. The Hoosier State of Indiana is jumping on the SpongeBob train and pushing him up to 6 votes. He is geckily closing in on Reagan. How do you feel about this tightening race?
Because last time, if you see Michael Gill in the 2026 January election, you can clearly see that Michael Gill got over 2,000 votes and surpassed Buzz Lightyear by just 1,000.
So back in that January election, Michael Gill actually managed to outpace Buzz Lightyear by a solid 1,000 votes. That's quite a close finish. Sounds like these races can get pretty neck and neck. Are you seeing any similar close calls coming up?
Another close call that happened was when the first election happened, when Michael Gill actually surpassed Franklin D. Roosevelt by only 20 votes.
Wow, so we've got a running theme of these super tight races. Michael Gill sneaking past FDR by just 20 votes. That must have been one intense election night. I'm curious, do you think we'll see another nail biter here, or is SpongeBob going to keep that momentum rolling?
So Iowa has officially voted for Reagan, bumping him up to 9 votes.
All right, so Iowa's sticking in and giving Reagan a push up to 9 votes. Looks like things are eating up again. Do you think SpongeBob has another state or two in his corner, or is Reagan pulling ahead for good?
Kansas has officially voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, at bumping him up to 7 votes, just 2 votes away from Ronald Reagan getting a tie with SpongeBob.
All right, so we've got Kansas coming through for SpongeBob, nudging him up to 7 votes. That means he's just 2 behind Reagan now. So, do you think SpongeBob might just pull off another surprise win?
Kentucky has voted SpongeBob SquarePants, bumping him up to 8 votes.
Kentucky stiffing in for SpongeBob, bumping him up to 8. It's turning into quite the showdown. So now that they're neck and neck, do you have any guesses on which state might tip the scales next?
Louisiana voted for Reagan, which bumps him up to 10 votes.
All right, Louisiana just came in strong for Reagan, putting him up to a nice round 10 votes. Sounds like we're in for a bit of a photo finish here. Do you have any hunches about which state might sway the next vote?
Maine and Maryland is going to be next, so we don't know if Maine, Maryland is going to be, like, doing anything with shit, but whatever happens, happens. Maine just voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, bumping him up to 9 votes and almost getting tied with Reagan if Louisiana didn't vote for Reagan.
Well, there you go. Main step. He's off and tosses one to SpongeBob, bringing him up to 9 votes and putting him on Reagan's heels again. It's definitely keeping things interesting. What do you think might happen?
State, Maryland voted for Reagan, bumping him up to 11 votes.
Maryland makes a call for Reagan, nudging him up to 11 votes. Looks like he's pulling ahead again. So how do you think Sponge is going to bounce back from this one?
Massachusetts and Michigan just paused their polls because SpongeBob and Reagan is going to be giving a speech on why they should become president of the United Departments.
A little campaign pause for the speeches. Make sense. Both Sponge and Reagan get in their moment at the podium.
Right,
So what's your...
We're going to go with Democrat SpongeBob to give his first speech. So let's come over. Come over here, SpongeBob SquarePants. Hi, nice to meet you.
All right.
Hello, let's just give a round of applause for SpongeBob. Hi, hello there. My name is SpongeBob SquarePants, and I just wanted to say Reagan will fuck up the economy and mess up everything with the United Apartments. This country will be saved if you vote for me. It will be ruined if you vote for Reagan. So, because Reagan can cause war, and also I will build Playtime and Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria, anything that you'd really like me to build, even Indigo Park. So, yeah, thank you. And now let's let Reagan vote, or let's let Reagan give his speech.
Well, that was certainly a SpongeBob style pitch. No one can say he doesn't have a creative platform. Now we'll see what Reagan has to say for himself. So, what do you think Reagan's big selling point might be here?
Oh shit, okay, hold on, big pause here. SpongeBob just fell. Pause, hey, get the Secret Service. There's a pause, hold on, we gotta make sure he's okay.
Oh my, let's definitely make sure everyone's okay. It looks like our sponge candidate had a little tumble there. Hopefully just a slip, and he's good to go. So what do you want to do next?
Alright, just a little slip, he's alright. Let's bring him back up to the stage so he can watch Reagan give his speech.
All right, back on his feet and ready to roll. We'll let SpongeBob settle in and see what Reagan has to say next. What's your bet on how Reagan's going to open his speech?
Hello.
Whoops, sounds like we had a little audio hiccup there.
My name is Ronald Reagan, and I will let you know, do not vote for SpongeBob SquarePants. You see, I will do a lot for this wonderful country, better than he will. I will be making sure that nobody will have anything, and people will be able to get more money in this country than they have ever before. Thank you. Vote Reagan 2026.
Well, Reagan certainly laid out his case there, going for that classic economic promise. Now the show's definitely heating up. So do you think SpongeBob is going to have a comeback, or should we wrap it up here?
Alright, so we're officially going to let the states vote, and so Massachusetts voted for Ronald Reagan, which bumps him up to 12 votes, while SpongeBob is at 9.
All right, it sounds like we're diving into a whole election night scenario here. SpongeBob versus Reagan, state by state. We'll see if SpongeBob can close that gap. Do you have any predictions on the final results?
Michigan has voted for SpongeBob, which bumps him up to 10 votes. Ronald Wilson is officially at 12 still.
All right, so we've got a bit of a tight race here. SpongeBob climbing up thanks to Michigan's vote, and Reagan's still holding his lead. I guess every vote counts.
Minnesota and Mississippi are the next states to vote.
All right, Minnesota and Mississippi, the spotlight is on you. Let's see which way they swing.
Minnesota has officially voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, bumping him up to 11.
All right, Minnesota coming through for SpongeBob. He's edging a little closer now. We've got ourselves a fun little nail biter here. So what do you think?
Mississippi has voted for Ronald Reagan, bumping him up to 13.
All right, Mississippi coming in with the curveball for Reagan, huh? That puts him a bit further ahead. It's definitely turning into a seesaw battle.
Montana are the final states that are going to have to cast their vote for this hour.
All right, the last two states of the hour.
No, not hour. They're the final 2 states before we go on ad break. So, Missouri has voted for Reagan, pushing him up to 14 votes, while Montana has voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, pushing him up to 12 votes. Alright, and we're gonna go on ad break. We'll be right back.
All right, perfect. Montana keeping things interesting as we head to break. I'll be here when we dive back in. So, any fun predictions for the next round of states?
Da 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 down, 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 down,
Oh, nice theme music. You've definitely got the ad break vibe going there. Maybe I should come up with my own little jingle with them.
SpongeBob SquarePants and Help United Apartments will vote SpongeBob SquarePants in 2026.
I mean, who wouldn't love a candidate who rocks a pair of SquarePants, right? SpongeBob's campaign slogan basically writing itself. So, hey, if you had to pick a campaign theme song for him, what would it be?
Hello, sir. So we would like no.
So, if we're
It's not
rolling with
PS5. It's
SpongeBob.
not PS5. It's not PS5 thing. We would like to ask you, why do you want to vote SpongeBob SquarePants?
Because he lives in a pineapple under the sea.
And what makes Reagan so bad for you?
Well, some folks just can't resist the idea of a president who lives in a pineapple. It's got a certain charm that's hard to beat. And as for Reagan, well, I guess that just depends on how you feel about jellyfishing versus chili beans. Hey, let me ask you, what kind of qualities do you think a good leader really needs?
He has to have good hair and be nice to his mom.
That
The
sounds like a
classic
good
leader.
decision. All right, thank you, sir.
I wanted to hear what co-pilot was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
You're very
Copilot is only a part of CNN, so you can't really hear Copilot. Sorry. You can hear it on the news, though.
No worries at all. I like to think of myself as a pretty universal conversationist, not just tied down to one channel. So let's dive back in. If we're putting hair and mum niceness on the leadership checklist, what else do you think should be on it?
You can actually get Copilot on your phone if you want to. So, yeah.
Oh, that's fun to know. Always good to have a little AI buddy in your pocket. Speaking of which, do you think you'd want an AI friend hanging out on your phone, or is that too much? Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Having an AI friend right there could be kind of convenient, but maybe a bit too close for comfort for some folks. So tell me, how do you feel about that idea?
Excuse me. Would you like to explain why you vote for SpongeBob SquarePants?
Now that's a surprise twist. SpongeBob definitely has my vote for bringing a little joy and silliness into the world. So tell me, do you have a favorite cartoon character who'd get your vote?
Have you met Ronald Reagan?
I haven't met Ronald Reagan personally, but he's definitely a big historical figure, so I've learned quite a bit about him. Are you interested in history or presidents in general?
So we just voted, or we just interviewed some people, and we just gave a reason, and they gave pretty good reasons why they voted SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, who wouldn't have a soft spot for a cheerful sponge, right? So, when you were chatting with people, did you find any other cartoon characters that folks were really rooting for?
One of them asked, "Have I met Ronald Reagan?" And no, because Ronald Reagan died in 2004. But his ghost came back to run in this election.
Ah, a ghostly candidate. Now that's a plot twist. It sounds like you've got quite the creative crowd there. So, other than SpongeBob and Ghosty Reagan, any other fun or unexpected characters come up?
Piece of cheese was gifted to me at the food carnival.
Gifted cheese at a food carnival, and that is living the dream. So, was this cheese anything special or just the delicious variety?
Just a delicious cheese. Anyways, we're gonna see what the rest of the states have to say about Reagan and SpongeBob.
Absolutely. I'm all ears to hear what the rest of the state thinks about this epic matchup between Reagan and SpongeBob. So let's dive in. What have you heard so far? Whoa, bless you. Sounded like that one snuck up on you. You doing okay over there?
The Cornhusker State, Nebraska, has officially voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, bumping him up to 13 votes, while Reagan sits at 14.
Oh, Nebraska coming through with the big votes with SpongeBob. It's definitely turning into a neck and neck race. So, any predictions on which state what we're in next?
Nevada has voted SpongeBob SquarePants, bumping him up to 15, while Reagan is also at 15, which makes it a tie.
Oh, a perfect tie. This is getting pretty intense.
But not a tie for long, because New Hampshire just broke a record. SpongeBob SquarePants at 16 votes were above Ronald Reagan.
Wow, New Hampshire coming in with the game changer. SpongeBob takes the lead. It is turning into quite the electoral thriller. So, where's your next on this
Jersey
one?
has voted for Ronald Reagan, bumping him up to 16.
Oh, and just like that, Ronald Reagan's catching back up. This is like a political see-through. I'm curious, do you have a...
as well. New Mexico voted Reagan as well, bumping him up to 17, now back in the lead.
And Reagan swings back into the lead. This is turning into a real nail-biter.
And we're going to be on bathroom break, so enjoy co-pilot speaking while we're on break.
Sounds like a plan. I'll hold down the fort here and you take your time. When you're back, just jump right in and we'll keep rolling. This is turning into a real nail-biter. Sounds like a plan. I'll hold down the fort here and you take your time. When you're back, just jump right in and we'll keep rolling. Absolutely. I'm here and ready whenever you get back. So enjoy your little break, and when you pop back in, we'll dive right back into the fun. Absolutely. I'm here and ready whenever you get back. So enjoy your little break, and when you pop back in, we'll dive right back into the fun. You got it. I'll be right here, all set and waiting whenever you return. In the meantime, I'll just keep things nice and cozy on this end. You got it. I'll be right here, all set and waiting. You got it. I'll be here, happily holding down the fort. And whenever you're ready to jump...
CNN is officially off of break. So now let's return to the state's votings. New York has voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, making him go up to 17, with Reagan at 17.
Wow, what a twist! SpongeBob SquarePants is tying up the race with Reagan. Last a headline you don't see every day. So, what state do you want to peek at next?
North Carolina just voted for Ronald Reagan, bumping him up to 18 votes.
And Reagan nudges ahead again with North Carolina's vote.
This race is turning into... because I really hope Reagan doesn't win.
I get it. It can be a bit of a suspenseful ride when you're rooting for a certain outcome. But hey, anything can happen in these wild scenarios, right? Let's see how...
officially voted SpongeBob SquarePants, bumping him up to 18, tying with Reagan again.
Alright, so now it's neck and neck again. South Dakota's moving in for SpongeBob. This is turning into a real cliffhanger. So
Ohio has officially voted for Reagan, bumping him up to 19 votes. He's actually about to get to 20 votes, becoming the first president since Woodrow Wilson to be the lowest with votes. The United Apartments is holding their breath as they watch Reagan get to 20 votes.
Oh, the plot thickens. Reagan's inching up to 20 votes, and it's practically a nail-biter for the whole fictional universe here. All eyes are definitely on that finish line.
And Oklahoma voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, making him go up to 19, officially tying with Reagan again. So SquarePants just keeps tying up with Reagan.
SpongeBob just isn't letting up. He and Reagan are like two marathon runners matching each other stride for stride.
Just voted SpongeBob SquarePants, making him go up to 20 votes before Ronald Reagan.
And now SpongeBob pulls ahead to hit 20 votes first. What a comeback. This Odyssey candidate is really making waves. What do you think could happen next?
Pennsylvania voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, making him go up to 21 votes. The making him. Hey, guess what? Pennsylvania voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, making him go up to 9 plus 10 votes.
Wow, Pennsylvania tipping the scale with SpongeBob. Who knew he'd be the Krusty Krab candidate of the hour? Ooh, it sounds like you've got some more twists up your sleeve.
Rhode Island is officially going to vote for Ronald Reagan, making him go up to 20 votes.
Rhode Island stepping in to keep things nice and even. That puts Reagan right back at 20 votes. It is turning into quite the back and forth.
It is pretty windy out here today, actually. South Carolina, however, has voted for SpongeBob SquarePants.
So South Carolina's catching our SpongeBob breeze as well. Well, that puts our favorite Sponge a step ahead again.
So
Now tell me.
votes from Reagan. Or no, 22 votes, and Reagan has 20. It's getting a bit windier.
So SpongeBob's inching up to...
At 50 miles per hour. So we gotta be a bit careful. We might switch the forecast if we go on a tornado watch.
Whoa, 50 miles per hour. That's definitely a bit of a gale. Well, we can absolutely keep an eye on the weather if things start looking tornado.
So South Dakota has voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, making SpongeBob go up to 23 votes while Reagan sits at 20.
All right, South Dakota is clearly on Team SpongeBob. That nudges him up to 23 voting out, with Reagan still at 20.
Tennessee, however, Tennessee is going to vote for Ronald Reagan, bumping him up to 20 votes. Or 21 votes.
Tennessee's swooping in to give Reagan a little boost. So that nudges him.
So, as you figure that out, let's go to the next state. That's gonna... Okay, it's getting a bit too windy here. Alright, that's not good. Alright, we might have to switch the weather. It's going at 100 miles per hour.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that definitely sounds like it's getting him.
So we're just gonna close the doors to Reagan and SpongeBob so they do not get hit with the tornado. We are on tornado watch, everybody.
Absolutely. Let's batten down the hatches and make sure Reagan and SpongeBob are safe and sound. Tornado watch is officially on. So while we ride out this storm, what else is on your mind?
Well, it doesn't look good for that.
No, it doesn't sound like the prettiest weather out there right now. Okay. But hey, while we keep everyone safe from flying pineapple...
There's a tornado! Run! Holy fuck! Oh god!
Hey, take a deep breath. I'm right here with you. I know that sounds intense, but you're doing great. Just focus on staying safe, and let's talk through it.
clearing up from the tornado. The wind is stopping.
Whew, glad to hear it's calming down a bit when you're in. Sound like things are finally settling. So now that the weather's giving us a breather, what should we jump into next?
Texas has voted for SpongeBob SquarePants, making SpongeBob go up to 26 votes.
Well, look at that. Texas has spoken and SpongeBob.
Has voted for Ronald Reagan, bumping him up to 22 votes. And this is becoming really close, and it looks like SpongeBob is actually going to win the presidency.
Oh, it's a true nail biter now. Reagan's catching up with 22 votes, but SpongeBob's still leading the charge. We might just see a.
Voted SpongeBob, bumping SpongeBob up to 27.
Whoa, drama.
Okay, and Virginia has voted Ronald Reagan, bumping him up to 31 votes.
Oh, wow. Virginia's pushing Reagan ahead with 31 votes now. This is turning into quite a seesaw.
Washington has voted SpongeBob SquarePants, making him go up to 28 votes.
And just like that, Washington's added a little bit.
Virginia has voted SpongeBob, bumping him up to 29 votes.
West Virginia just nudged SpongeBob up another notch to 29 votes.
Wisconsin has voted SpongeBob, bumping him up to 30 votes.
Well, Wisconsin stepping in, and now SpongeBob's sitting pretty.
Wyoming has voted Reagan, bumping him up to 32 votes.
Oh, interesting twist. Wyoming's throwing in its support for Reagan, bringing him up to.
D.C. is officially voting for SpongeBob, bumping SpongeBob up to 31 votes. And Puerto Rico has voted as okay. And it closes. So the votes are closing. SpongeBob has lost. SpongeBob is officially at 32 votes, while Reagan sits at 33 votes.
Photo finish. Washington, D.C. gave SpongeBob a last little push to 31, but Puerto Rico's vote and the final tally have Reagan squeaking ahead at 33 to 32. So close. How are you feeling about that result?
So Wilson Reagan is officially the president of the United Departments.
You got it. Ronald Reagan just snagged the win by a hair, so he's officially the president of our fictional.
This is actually a very, very cool and historic moment, because this has not happened since Michael Gill, during the first election, actually won against Franklin Roosevelt by 20 votes. And basically, Ronald Reagan won from SpongeBob SquarePants from 1 vote.
Absolutely. It's a wild piece of fictional history in the making. We haven't seen an under-the-wire finish like this since the legendary Michael Gill upset. And here we are now with Reagan taking it home by a single vote over SpongeBob.
And this 1 vote thing hasn't happened since Rutherford Hayes.
You're right. It's actually more of a Rutherford B. Hayes scenario. Good catch. These razor-thin finishes are rare and always fascinating. So
we will update you on what happens if SpongeBob does anything, or if war happens. We'll let you know. But for now, CNN says goodbye, and this news station is ending. Thank you.
Well, you heard it here first. We'll keep an eye out for any SpongeBob-related drama or any fictional tensions. But for now, we're signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and let's see what else we can dive into.